We've all been there. It's late at night, the house is quiet, you're tiptoeing to the kitchen for a midnight snack. Suddenly, excruciating pain. You've stepped on a Lego. The agony is instant and intense. You hop around, clutching your foot, trying not to wake the whole house with your muffled yelps. But why does such a tiny piece of plastic cause so much pain? It's not like you've stepped on a nail or a shard of glass. It's just a little brick, for crying out loud. And yet, the pain is real and memorable. The Lego brick, in its innocence, has become a symbol of unexpected agony. It lurks in carpets, hides under furniture, and waits patiently for the unsuspecting bare foot. But there's more to this pain than mere mischief. There's actual science behind why stepping on a Lego hurts so darn much. This peculiar pain is just one of many quirky ways our bodies react to the world around us. From the toe-stubbing curse to the unstoppable force of a sneeze, our bodies are full of surprises. So, let's dive into the world of Lego-induced agony and other bodily quirks. Let's start with the scene of the crime, your foot. The sole of your foot is an incredibly sensitive area. It's packed with nerve endings, more so than many other parts of your body. These nerve endings help you balance, detect changes in terrain, and quickly respond to potential threats. When you step on a Lego, those nerve endings go into overdrive. They're sending urgent messages to your brain: danger, pain, sharp object. Your brain reacts instantly, causing you to feel intense pain and pull your foot away. The shape of a Lego brick also contributes to the pain. Legos are designed with sharp edges and corners. When you step on one, all of your body weight is concentrated on this small, unyielding surface. It's like a tiny anvil for your foot. The pressure is intense, and those sensitive nerve endings are squeezed between the hard Lego and the bones in your foot. No wonder it hurts so much. To make matters worse, we often step on Legos when we're not expecting it. Our feet aren't braced for impact. We're relaxed, maybe even half asleep. It's a perfect storm of sensitivity, pressure, and surprise. Believe it or not, Lego has acknowledged the pain their products can cause. In a brilliant marketing move, they introduced anti-Lego slippers in 2015. These weren't your average house slippers. They featured extra thick soles with a special Lego brick pattern. The idea was that these soles would be thick enough to absorb the shock of stepping on a Lego, sparing parents from middle-of-the-night agony. It was a tongue-in-cheek solution to a problem that every Lego-owning household knows all too well. Unfortunately, these slippers weren't mass-produced. Only 1,500 pairs were made, and they were given away to lucky winners who filled out a Christmas wish list on the Lego France website. But the very existence of these slippers speaks volumes. It shows that even Lego recognizes the unique pain their products can cause. Sometimes, the solutions to our problems can be found in unexpected places. Now, you might be wondering, if Legos hurt so much to step on, why doesn't it hurt as much when we handle them with our hands? While our hands are incredibly sensitive, they're built differently from our feet when it comes to dealing with pressure and sharp objects. The skin on the soles of our feet is generally thicker than the skin on our palms. The thickness is there to protect us from the constant pressure of walking, but it doesn't reduce the number of nerve endings. Our palms, while having thinner skin, are designed for manipulation and fine motor skills, not for bearing our entire body weight. The fat pads in our hands help us grip things and provide some cushioning, but the fat pads in our feet are specifically designed to absorb the shock of walking and standing. When we step on a Lego, we're concentrating all our weight on a tiny, unyielding point. When we handle Legos with our hands, we're in control. We can adjust our grip, we can see what we're doing, and we're expecting to feel the hard plastic. But when we step on a Lego, it's usually a surprise. This element of surprise amplifies the pain sensation. Let's shift gears and talk about another common source of foot-related agony: stubbing your toe. If you've ever walked into a piece of furniture in the dark, you know the unique pain of a stubbed toe. It's sharp, it's intense, and it often comes with a string of words that would make a sailor blush. But why does stubbing your toe hurt so much? Like the soles of your feet, your toes are packed with nerve endings. These nerve endings help with balance and sensing your environment. When you stub your toe, you're slamming these sensitive nerve endings into a hard object. The pain is immediate and intense. Your toes also have very little protective tissue. There's not much between the skin, the nerves, and the bone. When you stub your toe, you're essentially causing a mini trauma to the toe. You might bruise the tissue, jam the joint, or even cause a small fracture if you hit it hard enough. Interestingly, the pain of a stubbed toe often comes in waves. The initial sharp pain is your body's immediate reaction to the injury. The throbbing that follows is your body's way of reminding you to be careful with the injured area while it heals. Now let's move from our feet to our faces and talk about another quirky body reaction: sneezing. Sneezes are fascinating. They're sudden, they're powerful, and they're nearly impossible to stop once they start. A sneeze is essentially your body's reset button for your nose. When something irritates the lining of your nose, whether it's dust, pollen, or even a sudden bright light for some people, your body decides it needs to clear the irritant out. It does this by building up pressure and then releasing it explosively. This explosion of air can travel at speeds up to 100 miles per hour. But sneezing isn't just about your nose. It involves your whole respiratory system. When you sneeze, your chest muscles compress your lungs, your throat closes briefly, and then everything releases at once. This coordinated effort is why it's so hard to keep your eyes open when you sneeze. Interestingly, sneezes often come in pairs or even in fits. This is because one sneeze might not be enough to clear out whatever was irritating your nose. Many people report feeling a sense of relief or even pleasure after sneezing. Now that we've explored a few of our body's quirky reactions, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Why do we experience these sometimes inconvenient, often painful responses? The answer lies in our body's primary goal: survival. Pain, whether it's from stepping on a Lego or stubbing your toe, is fundamentally a protective mechanism. When you experience pain, your body is sending you an urgent message. It's saying, "Hey, pay attention. Something potentially harmful is happening." This message prompts you to take action. In evolutionary terms, this pain response could have meant the difference between avoiding a serious injury and being vulnerable to predators or infection. Even seemingly useless pain serves a purpose. The lingering ache after stubbing your toe, for instance, reminds you to be gentle with that area while it heals. These pain memories help shape our behavior, making us more cautious and aware of our surroundings. It's worth noting that pain perception can vary widely between individuals. Let's zoom in on one of the key players in our pain perception: nerve endings. These microscopic structures are the unsung heroes of our sensory experiences. They're the reason you can feel the softness of a kitten's fur, the warmth of a cup of coffee, and yes, the sharp pain of a Lego under your foot. Nerve endings are specialized structures at the end of our nerve fibers. They act like tiny sensors, constantly gathering information about our environment and sending it back to our brain for processing. Some nerve endings are sensitive to touch, others to temperature, and some specifically to pain. These pain-sensitive nerve endings are called nociceptors, and they're particularly abundant in areas like the soles of our feet. The distribution of nerve endings isn't uniform across our body. Some areas, like our fingertips and lips, have a high concentration of nerve endings, making them extremely sensitive. This variation in nerve ending distribution is why a paper cut on your finger can feel so much more painful than a similar-sized cut on your arm. Now let's talk about another key player in our body's response to things like Lego bricks and stubbed toes: fat layers. Fat often gets a bad rap, but when it comes to protecting our bodies from impact and pressure, fat is our friend. Fat layers act as natural cushions, helping to absorb shock and distribute pressure. In our feet, fat pads play a crucial role. They're located under the heel and the ball of the foot, areas that bear the most weight when we stand and walk. These fat pads are made up of specialized fat cells that are particularly good at absorbing impact. They help protect the bones, nerves, and blood vessels in our feet from the constant stress of walking and standing. As we age, these fat pads can become thinner, which is one reason why older adults might find standing for long periods more uncomfortable. It's also why older people might find stepping on a Lego even more painful than younger folks do. The natural cushioning in their feet has diminished, leaving those sensitive nerve endings more exposed. While we focused a lot on pain reactions, our bodies have plenty of other quirky responses that are worth exploring. Take goosebumps, for instance. Those little bumps that appear on your skin when you're cold or experiencing strong emotions are actually a leftover response from our evolutionary past. In animals with thick fur, raising the hair helps trap a layer of warm air close to the skin. For us relatively hairless humans, it's not very effective, but our bodies still do it. Another interesting reaction is the way our pupils dilate when we see someone we're attracted to. This isn't a conscious response, it's our autonomic nervous system at work. When we see someone we like, our brain releases a surge of dopamine, and our pupils expand to let in more light. It's as if our eyes are trying to take in as much of the person as possible. These quirky reactions remind us of the fascinating complexity of our bodies.